We lived above a pawn shop gun store in Kalispell, and I remember when, we had electricity and TV till I was like 4 or 5, and all of a sudden Mom and my former stepdad were like, all right, we're moving off the grid, everything's going away. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's that mean? And I get up there, I'm like, oh my God, there's no microwave, there's no TV, and learned a lot about living in the woods, learned a lot about guns and hunting and knives and fishing. And now I look back, I'm like, wow, that was a pretty hard upbringing, but when it's all wintertime we'd plow snow, we'd be cutting firewood all summer long, put up enough wood to have for the winter, and I'd help the neighbors hay and run barbed wire, move cattle around. There's this cowboy life, but there's also this cold weather cowboy life, which I feel is very, very different. Some of these guys up here that go out in 40 below weather to take care of their cattle, they're just a different breed. I remember a specific moment. I think my mom smoked about 10 cartons of Marlboros to get this Marlboro country tape.
He was probably 4, maybe 5, and I had a cassette, and he would put the tape in there, and it was the Marlboro tape. And he would go to the kitchen drawer and get my serving spoon, and there he stands singing the songs into the serving spoon.
I'd sing into spoons, and I was somewhere between Axl Rose and Charlie Daniels, and I remember being just moved by those sounds and thinking about the guitar and this and that. And then shortly after we moved off the grid, a little guitar arrived from the pawn shop.
We had gotten him an inexpensive guitar, and he went in the bedroom and heard a song on the radio and came out and played it. And he didn't even have lessons. It was like, wow, I couldn't believe he did that.
Played guitar and made up songs at a very young age. And, that was definitely a defining moment in music. And then I just kept that going and was naturally pretty good at it.
And I've always thought that the guitar to Jimmy was comforting. So if he was sad or lonely or mad, he'd go in the bedroom and start strumming and playing the guitar. And somehow he connected with it young.
I think being in Montana off the grid, music was a necessity for me. It was my escape, my only escape. There was no TV, there was nothing like that for me to do. I played guitar. And then I just started dreaming of man, maybe I could grow up and be a performer. And yeah, so I'd sit down, light a candle or a lantern in my room, and would just sit there and kind of learn music. So the guitar was life-changing, hunting was always life-changing to me, moving off the grid. When I got my first pickup truck, I worked around here running barbed wire for these ranchers and saved up $2,500 and went to the Melmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls, Montana, and bought my dream truck, 1971 Chevrolet K10 four-wheel drive stepside. Totally rad. I sold that truck to go to music school, and the rancher up the road came down and gave me $1,000 more than I was asking for. I think I said, John, you're giving me more than I'm asking for. He goes, yeah, dumbass, make us proud. I'm like, oh, it's a gift.
He met a man called Johnny Highland there. He came as a speaker to the school. Johnny Highland told him to come to Nashville. That's the reason he went there. And Johnny Highland said, come to Nashville, but there better not be an ounce of rock and roll in you. It's country. Oh, and then he went out back and he shot his cowboy hat. He thought it would look more interesting if it had a bullet hole through it.
I know I have a very good work ethic. I get a lot from people in Nashville. It's a very nice compliment. They tell me I'm the hardest working guy in town. I don't look at it as hard work. I look at it as I'm pretty fortunate to be able to make a living doing what I love. It's a crazy life and it's a big gamble. It's a big roll of the dice because you're just like, no, this is gonna work. And I'm gonna be doing this when I'm 75 years old, damn it. I grew up around a lot of veterans. I was fascinated with military and war movies at a very young age. So always, that was in the back of my mind. It's like, I want to go in the military. And I didn't go in because I got accepted to music school. I think part of me feels like, man, I should have served, but I didn't. But now I can use my platform to serve those that have served us. The spirit of veterans and the spirit of soldiers, they're wild. If they're willing to grab a gun and go out and fight for freedom, those are the people that I want to hang out with. But I had been banging on the Black Rifle door for a long time. And we went on some trips and I wrote some songs with them. Me and Matt hit it off, and JT and Evan and Logan, and then we just became like family. And I think they think I'm an absolute psychopath, but I think they like that about me too, bud. I told them, I said, I never served, but by God, I've been overserved.
I think it was meant to be in a sense. They have so many common things together, you know, and I'm really proud of him. And I just think I'm proud of the Black Rifle Coffee Company and the men who started it, the veterans that put their lives on the line and still supporting vets and vets working there. And that's all the things that Timmy also does. He's very patriotic. He loves this country. He loves veterans. And yeah, I think they're a good team.
Went to the grocery store after the stampede. People fight for toilet paper like the UFC. Nothing left on that shelf but a lonely can of beans. So I guess I'll head back to the house and take a bath in bleach.
That quarantine song we wrote just absolutely exploded, charted #4 in Ukraine. So we've had very good luck in that song space. Anything I put out with those guys gets tons of numbers, and we just have fun doing it. Everything we've done has just been natural. It's not forced. Like, we just sit down with a guitar on a bonfire and I started singing, "If I die before I wake, take me out back to my favorite place." And it was very matter of fact of what I was witnessing. I think those guys are on track to hire 10,000 veterans, and them going public is huge, and it's just really cool. I mean, I wasn't there from the beginning, but I've been there for years, so I feel like I got to see this thing and their hard work and the fruits of their labor like paying off.
6 feet deep, bury me by the bonfire.
He's got this unbelievable passion and perseverance. It's like, oh my word, he won't stop. He would not accept any of that when he was down. It was like, I'm going to be a musician, and he worked very hard. It's fun to see him fly, and I still don't know where he's gonna land.
Continuing to do that, I think, you know, it just gives veterans an outlet. They get to watch the content they make and laugh about it, and then when they get out of the military, they're like, hey, maybe I can go work for these guys. And it genuinely is a fun place, a fun group to work with. But I even see people that work at the brick and mortar stores now, they're having a good time too. You know, it's like everybody seems to genuinely have fun and understand the mission statement: do good in the world, help the veteran community, and make people laugh. Don't take yourself too seriously, but take your coffee very fucking seriously.
Bury me by the